Please tune in carefully because you're listening to the Community Link crew on GFM 96.6.
There you go. You are indeed listening to the Community Link Show on GFM 96.6. Like now, we are heading over to our interview with Pastor Crawford and Charles Campbell, who are here to talk to us about the big church event taking place for Black History Month. So, can I welcome you both to the studio?
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Could you tell us a bit about this? Well, there's a series of events effectively that are taking place, aren't they? Because I don't want the listeners thinking it's just one event. There are actually a number of events which all of the churches are working in collaboration for. So can you tell us a bit about that?
If I can just go back a step,
yeah,
even,
sure.
just to say how this all came about. And initially, 4 churches came together: Church of God of Prophecy, Church of God Seventh Day Adventist, and Bethel United, and the New Testament Church of God. And we came together initially to pray together, and just to pray about issues of concern in our community, in our churches. But out of that also came the fact that we have a social responsibility as well to our local community. And as Christians, the Bible gives us a clear command that we need to look out for those who are less off, the poor, the needy, the fatherless, the vulnerable in our society. And we just felt that it was an opportune time for us to move into that together. And the more of us that there are, the greater voice that we have. So Black History Month falls right into the first area that we want to deal with. And we want to address some of the issues that affect the black community. And I suppose people might look and say we're black majority-led churches, but that's not our focus, just dealing with black issues. It just falls that Black History Month is the first thing that we want to deal with. And whilst we're doing that, we want to also raise awareness, and we've organised a special celebration service to celebrate Black history, and we've given it the theme, Our Rights and Responsibilities. And often people shout about, yes, I have this right, I have that right, but also forget that there are responsibilities that we also have, that we need to take on board. Responsibilities to ourselves, our children, our community, that cannot be ignored if we want to improve the society that we live in. So the event, which takes place next Sunday, will be hosted at the New Testament Church of God, which starts at 3:00. And as I said, around the theme, Our Rights and Responsibilities, there will be various local dignitaries in attendance. And there will also be food. What is a celebration without food?
Exactly.
And so even if it's just for the food you're coming, please come, but also you might get something else that you
Yes.
didn't account for. So yes, and it's an opportunity as well that we're taking to recognise black people who have made significant contributions to the local community. So that's an opportunity that we're going to take up there. I also want to stress that this event is not just for church people. Anyone in the community is welcome to come along. And I would also stress we would like to see our young people come and attend. Come and hear about some of the issues that affected some of our elders when they came. We learn about the Windrush, the boat that many came in on in the 50s, and the difficulties that they faced when they came. My daughter is 9 now, asked me the other day, Grandad, he's always been a bus driver, hasn't he? And I said, no, he hasn't always been a bus driver. He came here in the 50s. He's had loads of other jobs. I said, I'm not going to tell you what they are. You've got to go to him and find out what it was like when he initially came here. So I'll be asking her about that as well. But it's great that it falls in Black History Month, and we can hopefully raise awareness to black people that, as well as the rights, we have responsibilities to get involved in things that are happening in our community, rather than just complain about the things that aren't going right. So some of the areas that we can get involved in are in our local schools.
Yeah.
We can become governors. We can go in and volunteer in our local schools. We can have a direct impact on what happens in our schools through being involved in those ways, being involved with the local police, local organisations. There are many ways that we can become involved to improve our community. So this is the kind of awareness that we want to raise through having this service. And as you say, hopefully it'll be an ongoing thing. It won't be a one-off event. And subsequent to that, there will be a following event.
Okay.
Yep, which will be a community forum on the Tuesday, which is the 26th of October. This will be hosted at the Church of God Seventh Day. Again, this is put on by the 5 churches, but it's being hosted at the Church of God Seventh Day. And the special guest for the evening will be Victoria Cook, who is the Chief Crown Prosecutor for Gloucester. Also, hot off the press, will be Superintendent Gary Thompson.
So we've got an exclusive there.
Who will also be in attendance at the forum, and they'll be welcoming questions and debate from the local community. So everyone, please come. It'll be about issues that concern you, that affect you, your children, and your children's children.
Yes.
So it's important that we are there to raise questions of concern, to give the powers that be things to think about when they're making decisions. So that's important as well, so that they can have the full picture and make good decisions that will benefit the whole community.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Can I just say, what really strikes me about this, actually, what I really like about this more than anything else, is the fact that it's a number of churches holding the event together. Now, I think that's really important, because obviously within Islam, within Christianity, within any religion, you know, there's so many denominations. And I think it's lovely to see the fact that obviously there are different denominations within Christianity, but you can all unite for a common cause and come together. And I think that's a really positive message, just to actually see that and to know that, you know, both of you here and obviously the whole team that you've got going on have all taken that action and have got together to do that. And I think that's wonderful. Also, alongside that, would you say that in terms of black people and religion, it's not really publicised that much? Because we know that black people are Christians. We know, you know, the majority of black people are Christians, but we never really talk about not black religion, but black people and religion. Do you know what I mean? Because obviously we hear a lot about Islam, Catholicism, Jewish, but it's almost because black people go underneath that umbrella of Christianity. A lot of people may not necessarily know what happens, you know, what's the difference between the way black people celebrate when they go to church, or what's the difference between us and other people. What would you say to that?
Yeah, that's true. But for black people, the whole concept of religion is very, very important. As a matter of fact, when you think of, you know, if I understand you right, when you think of religion and the black race, is that during slavery, this kind of association kept the slaves together in such a way that it becomes a part of their life. It is so important to celebrate the spiritual aspect of life, because we feel that the spirituality cannot be separated from a black person. And like you say,
Can you speak louder, please?
Sometimes because of the differences that we have in terms of probably our theology, it sometimes keeps us away from each other. But I do accept the point that you have made, that a lot of people tend not to see, because of, as you say, a comparison with Islam, not to see the importance that Christianity and religion and spirituality plays in our part. when you look at even before the Europeans went into Africa, religion played such an important part in those people's lives. You don't have to convince anyone in an African context about God, because they had a concept of God long before the Europeans went there. It might have been that they need to have their concept redefined. But if it was either the God of the rain or that they would appeal to when they do their farming, the presence and the concept of God was always with them. And that has formed and has become an integral part of the black man's life.
Very well said. Thank you very much, Pastor.
GFM with the Community Link crew.